you.
Let's get right to Steve Weigel. Steve.
Yes, here's the latest. The 5 p.m. advisory is in. You'll notice the last couple of hours, the storm's making more of a north track than northwest. Big bands coming in across South Florida. And the latest from the Hurricane Center, the 5 p.m. advisory, winds are kept at 140 miles an hour. The hurricane arteries are flying through it, but they really haven't had a chance to sample the atmosphere around the storm, so they'll keep it at 140. It may be stronger, though, and northwest at 13. The forecast track taking it across West End as a Category 4 tonight, and then off the coast of the Treasure Coast late evening and overnight still as a Category 4, and then very close to Vero Beach. That is 2 a.m. Winds at 130 miles an hour at that point, and of course the hurricane force winds stretch out about 50 to 60 miles from the center. So that's why we're still expecting strong winds along the coastline, and then a landfall possible around the Cape before it parallels the coast all the way up in toward the Carolinas. There's Charleston Category 1, and then a big wraparound, and a storm coming back down into the Bahamas, potentially as a tropical storm. That's the official forecast, but almost in the same place it is right now. And this is Tuesday. By Wednesday, some of the models bring it right back into South Florida. We're already starting to feel the rain bands from it. Some of the stronger rain bands are just off the coastline at this point, and this one in particular that is just ahead of the storm. And the Hurricane Center believes that we may be seeing what we call an eye wall replacement. So this is the inner core here, maybe collapsing, and a second eye may be forming that will replace the first. And that we've been flying into the eye and showing the big, just massive structure to this storm. 50 and 60,000 foot cloud tops, big storms, and lots of lightning in the last few minutes with this. Actually, about the last hour, fueling this. And there's a look at the other side of the storm. 50 and 60,000 feet high. Some of these storms and some of these feeder bands. And there's one look. There's a very powerful line of rain and wind right there, and another one working across our area. We've already, almost everyone at this point has experienced 40 and 50 mile an hour winds. And this rain band here, this feeder band, is about just a little under 60 miles away from South Florida. So this is one of our next ones to move in. What happens here, don't be fooled. You'll watch this and expect this to come in, but the feeder bands will form ahead of this too, and kind of one right there, and we'll see this area just ahead of this band develop even sooner. So our next wave will have one wave of very strong winds after another for the next couple, 24 hours at least. So the tropical storm force winds are already into South Florida. Almost everyone, as I said, in our viewing area has experienced over 40 mile an hour winds. We get into the 50 and 60 mile an hour winds early evening. The hurricane force winds are showing up in red here. So they cut along the North County area, just right along the coastline through 10 and 11 o'clock. As we get into 1 in the morning, they start to move up across the Treasure Coast into Vero and Fort Pierce. It looks like this wind field is also nudged back off the coastline just a little bit. We're still above 74 miles an hour, but not as far inland as earlier. And then everything's starting to pull off toward Melbourne after that. That'll be tomorrow morning. So power outages still look impressive, at least the probability for power outages the next 24 hours. You can see anywhere from high to very high in northern Palm Beach County, back around the lake quite a bit less, and pockets around Vero and around Port St. Lucie and Jensen Beach, and also down around Hope Sound and all the way up through Sebastian. These dark red areas where we can see very high probability of power outages. So batteries and flashlights needed. James Whelan's here with me, and more on the kind of local effects of what we can expect tonight and tomorrow.